quick intro, that's right.
Round of applause.
So no, I was going to let Dom take the stage. Dom, we've known Dom since 2003. We were at Snow Kite events. Many people know, but we were the first brands to do open depowered snow kite in the foil and make it work. We released that in 2002, 2003. That was called Frenzy. Dom joined us full time. When we first met Dom, he couldn't really speak English. He loved beer. So he was very crazy on the snow. So myself and Robbie, Dom was perfect. So we worked long and hard. Dom already worked for Libra, which is one of the top brands, also the top brands in the early days of buggy racing in Germany, which is a very big sport, and which was huge back in the day. Dom was also a German buggy champion. He comes from Flying Falls, I don't know, maybe your whole life.
Yeah, since 99, yeah.
And having Dom on the team has been a real joy. The last year, the guys, Robbie, Dom, Torrin, and our amazing test team, Ricky, Nico, and Johnny, and Chip, everyone, just such an amazing team, and they've really had to pull deep because, as you all know, we had a bit of a kick in the nuts. With the R1, it was a great kite. We had a lot of results, but then F1 kept developing and they could launch their kite later. So the boys, our hats off to them, were very, very proud of what they've achieved with the V2, which you've probably seen here. And just always inspire me and impress me. So thanks, Dom. He's going to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Matt was just as important in the whole testing as all our riders, like Ricky, Nico, and Johnny, who unfortunately can't be here for the event. Otherwise, he would have some more guys to battle with. But yeah, we're going to have Ricky here, who's our number one this year, hopefully. It's been a great pleasure to work with Ricky. We've really involved him a lot in the development of the new kite. We're actually still in the stage of development. We just got the latest photos for this event here in the bigger sizes, 11, 13, 15, 17. So we just basically trim and test them here still. So they won't be available probably until April, May. It depends really when we get them finished, and then the small sizes still has to be done. Because we're doing a lot of sizes, same as the R1, there's a whole lot of work, and the kite needs its own attention to get trimmed perfectly and to get the designs right. We're working on different designs for almost each size. Like we have the bigger sizes, 19, 17, 15 will be an own design. Then the 13, 11 and 10 will have their own design. Aspect ratio, cells, numbers and stuff like that. And then the smaller kites, the 9 and the 8 will have their own design, and the 7 and 6 again. So it's a lot of different designs of the kites, just to make them perfect for their wind range and to have the best performance. We're not just scaling up and down one kite design, like it's mostly done. Like you find it's the same kite design on a 6 meter as on an 80 meter. It's, for example, we do it on the Chrono and stuff, but even on the R1 we have like two different designs. So they're like a smaller, less aspect ratio for the smaller sizes. This year we're doing 3 and 4 outcome. We don't even know yet. we're not yet working on the small sizes. We're just trying to actually get these to a stage. Right. You can see the package is rather small compared to what you've seen before. That is why. It's because we also have a new, we call it the compression bag, which you would love to pack your kite in, because it's actually doing it really well. The reason for that is because you container your leading edge patterns, the little plastic rods that follow the profile on the nose, and as you roll up your kite, as you would normally do, you bend those patterns, and you wonder how long you leave your kites actually packed. You're not right. Most of the time your kite's packed, right? Mm-hmm. So you wanna make sure it's packed well, and the patterns can build out their shapes. not getting twisted and just stay like this, because they will keep the memory and not be able to fully expand into the profile shape again. So if I open up that one, let's see. How the leading edge is nicely folded, one cell on top of the other. Right, with no twist or whatever on the leading edge patterns. I must admit it takes a bit longer to pack a kite. An option, or you definitely should consider using that bag, especially when you travel. It's super lightweight, and it's good for your kite. And it's an expensive piece of kit you're using there. High performance machines, so you want to make sure you keep it as good as you can. Got a 3 compression straps, just as you fold your kite. You basically, I'll probably show it on the beach to you later on. It's a bit smaller here, showing it. But what you do, you basically start in the center, on one side, just by wrapping all the profiles on top of each other, and do the other side. Fix them up here, do like that. And then you've got the whole rest of your kite basically as in a big volume, something like that. Still inflated, some parts. So you do open the zip on the back. We move the zipper further back to the trailing edge. Makes it easier to reach to it, and it works nicer when packing it into the bag. So that's one of the reasons. So yeah, you just chuck it right in here. That might look messy, but that's alright for the material because it doesn't get bent at the same spot all the time. So we learned that from the paraglider guys. They use those bags for a long time, basically since they started using the leading edge batters as well. That comes from the paragliding development. Yeah, so you pack your kite in and you're good to go. What's new on this kite, you can probably come up here later on and feel, but we've been using a new material, a super light material. It's a 20 denier on the top surface and 10 denier on the bottom surface. Makes the kite so light, we save in 800 grams on an 11 meter and 1.2 kilo on a 17 meter, which is quite a lot.
How much does the 12 weigh?
The 11 is 1.8.
I'm so excited.
1.825.
Yeah, it's written somewhere.
So this is just a prototype. Don't worry about those yellow little pigtails. That's just for the prototype, so we can easily change bridle system on them, make adjustments and stuff. They will be gone for the production. Yeah, new valves for the air intakes. We got rid of, I think, 2 or 3 in total compared to the R1. It still inflates quicker than before. It's a new design for the intake valves. But it's actually what has changed is what you can't see so much. That's in it. We can't look in it, so I can't show you. No, but yes, as Matt already said, the R1 was, it was still a really successful kite, and a lot of events has been won, and it's still winning currently races and stuff. So it's a really good design. But we also addressed the problems of what we could improve on that kite, and put them into the new R1V2, which such as like the downwind performance has drastically improved. Also the upwind, because the kite is a lot lighter, the overall performance, especially in the lighter winds, it just stays up in there a lot longer and more stable before the tips hardly collapse anymore. or come in even in light breeze, and if you have it on the edge of the window, it just likes to climb and to stay solid in the air. Then we have, what else did we, it's mainly the downwind where you can feel, you can just lock in. I would like actually Ricky to tell you a little bit about it, because he can just express it very well with a lot of emotions, and he's been a big, just come up, Ricky, and tell us your feelings compared to the other one, please.
Thanks.
Because
something that I love about the new R1, it's so easy to ride. I mean, Gabor tried yesterday, and he just talked about how easy it is, like in any direction. So I love that. It's like a super high performance, and the guide follows whatever you want it to do it. And something that we work a lot with Dom, it's the guide has like endless lift all over the sailing, upwind, downwind. The kite never gets lazy, which I love it. It's always there for you. And I guess you have seen some of the maneuvers around.
Lazy means like the kite doesn't want to drive.
Yeah, it doesn't respond into your input, so the kite is always there because it's light and whatever is in there that we can show it to you. It's super good, but something that I like it, I was just about to say, when you're maneuvering, the kites always follow you. What I call it, the lift is never off, so the kite is always there to respond. So you're jiving, the kite is always accelerating to the loop, so you're not feeling like lazy and then you start again. So your jives are actually longer and faster, and you have more balance because you always have the kite on your bar. I love it. And tagging is way easier because the lift is always on and the kite follows you to the tag, and it starts super quick even without you thinking. You're already in your new tag, which I love. You don't have to pump it, not even to, hold your foil against the kite. It's already, I'm going that way, and you have to follow it, which I like. And if you have like 8 maneuvers along the course, it makes you save 5-6 seconds. It's gonna pay off at the end of the comp, which I like. And something that I like a lot, which it doesn't bother me, it's like the other kite companies have a lot of power and make you tiring, but this kite is super easy and friendly. So even if you're going fast and have long tags, which we do around the course when we're racing, I'm feeling this guy doesn't hammer you that much, even if you go really fast. So you will like a lot that on this kite. And we also keep the speed system pretty simple. I mean, now you can adjust it, right? We have some knots. So as Roman said, if you have a good setup, measure your kite, and after 1 year you can keep using the same measuring on it, which is pretty good. And what else?
That's all right.
Well, there was something more I wanted to add.
Pretty much, it's a whole new kite.
It's a whole new kite. The only similar is the name.
It's a new hand-drawn profile.
We started from the scratch, the R1 got put out there, and then we started straight away in June last year. We had the first prototypes. We were seeing Nico send the guys the prototypes, and so on. So it's a whole new concept, whole new kite. There's actually not much of the same as the other one in it. Tension-wise, aspect ratio, we've got a little bit less aspect ratio actually, which again helps the downwind. The bigger sizes have 2 less cells. So yeah, we got a really clean looking kite there, and Ricky's been up here, and it's been performing really well against to the others. The speed system, there's a quick one I want to show you. As Ricky mentioned it, as you can see, we are still one of the only ones who's using the ball bearing pulleys, which we tried as the others once, the little pulleys, which obviously have a bit less drag. But just the feeling those pulleys transfer to you, that is way more direct and it's less heavy in the bar. We still can't get away from them. We still like them too much. And as you can see, they just spin really free. They don't get stuck like the other one unfortunately do. So the line actually doesn't go straight over the pulley.
How big are they now?
Hey?
Pulleys, how big are they?
How big?
The pulleys, yeah. How big?
That's it.
Should have a number on them. They got a number on them.
Oh, that's the 20s.
Oh, yeah.
We want them to make 10s, but Ron's saying the same.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting there. Yeah, as you're loading the kites up very bad and very hard on the foil boards especially, there's always line stretch as the other guys already explained. So we put a adjustable speed system in them this year. So you adjust the B's. This is your B, this is your A, and that's the C. And you just by moving the knots, you can basically adjust them very easy to make sure they remain the same length. New lines in the speed system for the pulley lines, which have less stretch and shrinkage. What do you say? Tendency. Yeah, and they super wear proof. Yeah, still the same rider lines. The Kevlar rider lines as they are on the R1s. We figured out we had hardly any stretch or shrinkage in them. So as we say on the manual, you should replace them every 60 to 100 hours. It's almost, you should definitely have to measure them every couple of hours and stuff, but we found out they have hardly any shrink or stretch. So we're quite stoked with them. And keep using them for the V2, that's for sure, yeah.
So you brought the fine metal lines of Kevlar?
Yeah,
Kevlar lines,
Kevlar, yeah. Super high braking load. So it's properly beefed up because, yeah, you guys are just on shorter lines loading up the foils more and more. We put a lot of margin in all the lines so they don't snap. Yeah, that's about it. As Ricky said, on the feeling of the kite, when you put it up, and you've probably been used to one of our previous models, you will feel, just flying it on the beach, you feel a lot less bar pressure. There's hardly anything in the bar, but once you go out and you load the kite up, you actually get a really nice feeling. We also trimmed them, or we set them up that you have to use the trimmer on the bar to go upwind. You want to pull the trim strap in about 20 to 30 centimeters to get the maximum upwind performance, and then for the downwind you actually can completely release it, and the kite will drive you downwind a lot better. So you have to be more active on the trim strap on these kites than you've probably been using it before. That's a little side note. Yeah, I think that's about it from my side. Is there any questions? Yeah?
What's the aspect ratio on the old R1?
The
small sizes?
The smaller sizes are down to 7.4.
7.4.
Yeah, and the bigger are 7.9, something like that. On these we have reduced them about 0.2, 0.3, depending on the designs. Line length, that's a good question actually. We've been tested and trimmed them on 15 meters. Now they've been racing on shorter lines as well. In the light winds, put longer lines on. It's actually down to the rider what he prefers to have them used on. But we tested and trimmed them on 50 meters, which they were really good. I wouldn't really recommend any longer than 20 meters on them, unless it's super light winds and you have to get your 17 and 19s going. And we're talking about the racing purely, like if you're a freeride guy, you probably want to have longer lines just to make the kite a bit more easy, have a bigger wind window to move the kite in, and because the handling is getting quite complex on shorter lines, which you guys all know. But yeah, that's to get the performance, 50 meters. Yep.
On the line length, can you explain the advantages of the shorter lines and what the performance, how it changes the performance? Does the kite fly farther into the window,
Yeah.
or what is it? Why is that the tendency now to go to the shorter line?
Well, shorter lines make you definitely go upwind a lot better, because what the kite does, it just shoots further forward in the wind window, right? Instead of, and he's got the tendency to pull forward instead of building sideways pull on short lines.
So you're by changing the length of it, you're changing the arc of the kite in maneuvers and stuff, it flies faster over that because the arc is shorter? Does that make sense?
Yeah. The whole everything becomes more direct and more complex, right? But you're also losing a lot of room to play in with your kite if you have to loop and stuff.
Right, as an intermediate person, you want the slower kite, but as a racer like Ricky and stuff, something that's like instead of attacks and jives,
Yeah.
it'd be a lot faster to bring that over the top,
Yeah.
and you're ready to go on already out the other side.
Yeah,
So that's the reason.
that's the reason.
Pretty
Yeah,
much the reason.
exactly.
One other thing,
Yeah.
have you ever thought of doing glue stitching? Just gluing
Oh
the
yeah.
stitching?
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare.
But would it reduce the amount of pinholes and create more pressure inside the kite?
Oh yeah. You can definitely achieve that, but it's a nightmare for manufacturing because all the time the needle goes through the glue. And
No, I'm talking about just doing glued stitches, no stitching, no physical stitching,
No
just
stitching,
glue,
just glue.
glued seams.
No, we haven't tried that yet, but it's not going to be strong enough so far with the glue tape we have at the moment, at least. Yeah.
So you said earlier that when you're riding upwind, shorter lines make the kite go upwind better. Is that because there's just less drag because of the line length, or is there other reasons that make it do that?
As well, yeah. That's great. And just allow the kite shooting further forward, yeah. Because if you haven't realized, but if you fly like 25 meter lines, they always go out. And the shorter you go on the lines, the less you have that effect, and that actually slows your kite down quite a lot.
Don actually is saying to everyone 2 years now we should be on 15 meter lines, because they even use 10 meter buggy racing.
Oh yeah, because I come from a buggy racing background, and we put 50 meters on. There was a guy, we were all on longer lines, and the guy turned up with 50 meter lines and smoked us big time. So then the foil racing and the formula racing came along, and I told Johnny, you should put shorter lines on. He said, nah, it doesn't work for the downwind. I said, well, it's you take it. And then I think it was last year, people started chopping down the lines and went to 15s and 16s and stuff. And
Also,
nowadays we are 14s and 15s and whatever. Yeah.
Shortening bridge also is for you.
Yeah.
Shortening the lines for the bigger size, let's say about 13 meter, is it not going to change the shape of the kite and close it more and then lose the performance?
A very little bit, but actually the angle of the ride line distance on the kite is set through the program.
Okay, it's not affecting too much then, it's not closing. Because I was wondering for example 18 meter or 17 or 19 meter, if you go down to 14 meter lines, then I thought that all the big, the kite was still closed.
Yeah. But
whatever it is, you're going faster downwind.
that's why I'm saying these kites have been designed and tested for 50 meter lines. So that's what they were designed for. But obviously they will work on longer and shorter lines as well. But that's like their ideal line length. Yeah.
What's the tips? What's the price? Before
You don't have a price yet. Sorry. It's still in
like the air one?
Yeah, pretty much. Because we're using the lighter materials, which are always more expensive, it might end up being more expensive. Yeah, but I can't tell you about that yet. So it's still in. We're not working around the price on this product.
When is release date?
It's not official yet. As I said, it's still in development process. These are the first prototypes we got here that actually seem to be kind of what we're going for. So yeah. But what is it? End of March now? It's definitely not going to be before May or whatever. Cool. I have a question. No. Is this my third year?
So everybody,
Right, thank you.
come and grab it.
Hey, so Matt Taggart here from Ozone, the Playa Central crew asked me to just give you a bit of lowdown on where you can get our stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're ozonekites.com, so you can check on our website and then you can go to our dealer page and see where we are. Pretty much how our system works is pretty much early in the days. We started Ozone in '99. Robbie, Mike and David started the company. It's a Paragon brand. And then in 2001 we started Ozone Kites, and in 2001 also is when David started our factory in Vietnam and met his beautiful wife there. And you know, the factory is amazing, and that's our, you know, precise manufacturing and our attention to detail really comes from there. And then with Robbie's designs, it's incredible. But we're all passionate and we're all living the dream, and thanks to all of you guys who believe in us, but we're working our rings off, and Rob, Torin, Dom, Nick, you know, Ian, Hannes, everyone in Ozone, all our amazing team riders, Ricky, Johnny, Nico, that put so much into the racing especially, and all of our team riders across all the disciplines. If you need to buy Ozone product, then it's easy. Just go to ozonekites.com, find your nearest dealer on our contact page, and that's it. You're there, and we really appreciate everyone that, you know, looks into our brand and eventually maybe even buys into our product. And just, you know, from the heart, it's thanks, because we work hard and just trying to just having fun, loving kiting, all sports, the snow kiting, the racing, the waves, you know, it's just, you know, the freestyle, it's everything. It's we're lucky to have a great sport, and these guys have put an amazing job here again. As always, if you ever want to go somewhere for the best kite holiday, you do not want to pass up Laventana Playa Central, because it's epic for all reasons. The wind, the conditions obviously, and the location, and the food, and the party's pretty good. Cheers, thank you.